Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Vincent Meza, Listings to Leads. It's time to talk about Facebook and Google Ads. Now, if you're new to our platform, we do a lot of things, and we just did a refresh on the homepage on our website. And so you can see a lot of the tools that we have down here. We have automated listing marketing, we have Facebook and Google software, we have free social media posting, email tools, 80 PDF guides that are branded to you, landing pages, things for FSBOs, expired, first time home buyers, just a lot of tools to help you advertise, build your brand, and capture leads. And that's the thing. So many of the tools, I don't know how long you've been in the industry, many of these tools you might have, your company might be offering these to you. All right. The difference from what you're getting typically from almost every company out there is they've got your branding straight, and they usually have some automation to make it easy for you. What they don't have is lead capture, either buyer leads or seller leads. And that's really where we come in. And all these tools down here all have ways of capturing buyers and seller leads. And I think one of the most important things to think about is capturing leads from online ads. And that's the point of today's class, which is Facebook and Google. So let's log into this account here and see what we can do to capture leads. And I do want to say kind of one thing. I had a call with somebody today, an agent who just recently signed up and generated 7 leads from a client of his from a listing that they had. And so they did that pretty easily. And you'll find when you go through the setup on our system that we're connecting your social media accounts, we're doing auto posting for you over there, but also we can help you connect your Facebook ad account. And if you start to use our Google software, we can connect your Google ad account as well. So when you're running ads on these platforms, that's not that cost of a Google ad or a Facebook ad is charged on your credit card on those accounts, right? But I do want to kind of start before we dive into the how to and the nuts and bolts and just talk a little bit about both of these platforms. And one, obviously, Facebook, it's the number 3 website in the country. And you see all kinds of stuff here. What we're looking at is the news feed. And you'll notice at the very second post is an ad. And that's how it always is for Facebook. And so people look at the news feed on Facebook. And when I say people, American adults, 70% of American adults spend 40 minutes every day scrolling through this page. Okay. Seeing what their friends are doing, where they went on vacation, what they're eating, all kinds of fun stuff, right? You can see what your family's up to and all that. So it keeps people's interest. And for 40 minutes a day, that's a lot of time of just sitting here, right? Watching whatever it is that you're following and interested in. So that's Facebook, right? But the number 1 website in the country is actually Google. And you maybe can't see that this is Google because they got some funny thing up there today. But 86% of all questions on the internet are asked on this website. Okay. And if they put in something like, how do I sell my home? Or what does it cost to sell my home or anything like that? These are the kinds of questions that come in. And for you to participate here, you can see there's a sponsored ad here. Here's a sponsored ad right here, right? How do you get there? How do you get on the number 1 website when somebody asks a question, right? And that is exactly, we do that with our system, right? And so what we're talking about here is the number 1 website in the country, which is Google, and the number 3 website in the country, which is Facebook. And I will say this, our clients primarily, I would say 95% of our clients only use Facebook ads. They only run ads on Facebook. And I think partly because Google has always been way more difficult to do. So if you have any experience with Google as a realtor or in any industry, it's a really ugly interface to work with. It's really difficult. And boy, you need to know a whole lot. So there's just agents don't have that bandwidth. They don't have that knowledge. And so they don't have that experience of working with Google. Right. Now, here at Listings to Leads, if you're a client of ours, we actually have Facebook's ad software and Google's ad software already embedded in this platform. So you really don't need to know all the things you used to need to know if you were going to work inside of their platform. A lot of agents have gone through, they've learned, they've just had experience of boosting things, right? And they have some understanding of how Facebook ad software works, even not necessarily that they do correct ads or not, but they have some sense of what's going on there. But the vast majority of agents have no idea what's going on Google. And that's, I think, really opens it up for a lot of like really horrible price gouging, which we're not doing here. And so let's just talk about some easy things first, and then we'll dive into the real meat of it. Let's talk about the easiest way to get a buyer lead. That would be to put a listing in your account, even if it's borrowed, maybe from a colleague or from somebody you know, or somebody in your office. You borrow it and you put it inside the listing, and then you go over here and you go to ads, and you can do it here. Create an ad. You can create listing ads for early stage listings, just listed, open house, coming soon. You could do an ad on a home that is pending or sold or under contract, and you would get listing leads. You can also do an ad on landing pages, and we give you a whole stack of landing pages. You can create custom landing pages, and you can run ads on Facebook with those. And then we also give you 80 PDF guides, so you can run ads on those as well. 40 of those are for home buyers, and 40 of those are for home sellers. You are branded on every page of every PDF guide, and they're all like 5 or 6 pages long. So you got lots of things to go out and run ads on. So let's just do the first one I think everybody needs to know, and that is you have a home for sale. Maybe it's an open house, maybe it's for sale, maybe it's just listed. You're going to choose that property. You're going to leave it on lead ads. And I want you to remember this. You always want to use lead ads. And that's because if you do traffic, you're going to send somebody to a page. Maybe it's a page you created. Maybe it's a page we created. But these pages will not have an automated name, phone number, and email. Lead ads do that. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Let's create the ad. And we'll just start really simply. What we're looking at here is a reconfiguration of Facebook's ad software. So we're taking whatever city the home is in, and we're saying, okay, that's going to be the location. And we give you a minimum radius of 15 miles. You might want to expand that radius, 30 miles, maybe even 45 miles, because this is how far this ad will reach. So if you think people would drive 45 minutes to see your home, then you might want to market that far out there. Notice that mine is sponsored by my business page, Walnut Creek Real Estate. Okay. And yours is going to be sponsored by you, not by Listings to Leads. Here's a really important thing to think about. When you are running an ad, yes, it's designed to capture leads, but it's also designed to be seen by people. And if you run an ad with our software, just like this, which you will see a default setting of $35 for 7 days, your ad can be seen by 1,000 to 3,000 people. This is key for anybody who is new to the industry, who, if nobody knows who you are, if you're a newer agent, this is a great way to build your brand. And you can also customize these things, right? You can say, hey, and this is a template. If you go over here, there are multiple templates under this change template. So different looks of what that can look like. But you can also click this one where it says change image/video, and you can upload a video. If you paid a videographer, you could upload that video, and it would replace that static image and give you, let's see here, and it'll put in the video instead of that image. Now I'm going to put in a few photographs here because I think one of the cool things that you can do is you can create what's called a carousel ad. And now the text looks the same, but now you can scroll through and see a little bit more on the house. And that can make this ad work a little bit better, right? Now, if you don't like the order over here, you can change the order very easily. And boom, it just changed it dynamically right over there on the right-hand side. So you can also, and if you're in like a secondary market, or if you're in a southern state, you might want to market, you might want to advertise in a different area, right? We have a lot of clients in Texas and in Florida, and they like to advertise up in places like Chicago and New York and New Jersey. And that's how you do it right there. You just type it in, and this is now going to show in that area. Now, I do want to talk about one thing, and that is the cost of a lead. Okay. So what we're looking at here is the budget, the week. How much am I going to spend in 7 days? It says $35. That's our default setting for 1 week, right? $5 a day. There is an average cost per lead that Facebook sets. And for buyer leads, it's typically $3 each. I have seen recently that that leads have dropped a little bit in some areas. The lead cost has dropped, but on average, it's about $3. Okay. So this is the number one fastest way to get buyer leads. We do free automated posting. You're not going to get as many leads as with this ad, and definitely not as many people will see it. So let's just start there. That's how it goes for buyer leads. Now, I see a question here. I also take the name of Vince. I also take the name of the ad, which defaults to address of the property. Okay. Was there a question there, Neil? Because it doesn't look like a question. I also take the name of the ad, which defaults to the address of the property. Okay. That's what Neil does. Let's go look at another kind of listing ad, right? And I mentioned it earlier, but let's do one that's sold, right? Just so we understand. What I'm showing you here is the number one fastest way to get seller leads with name, email, and phone number. Now here, you don't want to be marketing in other cities. This home sold in Pleasant Hill. I want to market it in Pleasant Hill, right? And, oh, wait a second, this home is for sale, so we don't want to market that. That's what I thought. Let's click on Facebook and let's click on listing ad. And we need to actually click on property that's sold. And we're doing lead ads. Okay. So if you have something that is pending or under contract, you can also use it. And notice that the text up here, this is all that we're doing. This home is sold. Your home's value is being affected. Click here for your free home value. It's really simple. We're not making it difficult for people to read. And we have clients getting seller leads doing just what I'm doing right now. Picking a home that's sold, clicking create ad, and that's it. Notice the budget is $50. Why are we doing that? That's because the Facebook sets the cost of these leads as well, and they're usually $7 a lead. Okay. So we put 50. And so if you divide 50 by 7, you would expect 7 leads and $1 left over in your account. That's assuming that it's average. We actually have clients getting seller leads with these ads for $4 each, but we also have agents paying $10 each, right? And so that's how it works. It's a 7-day ad. You don't really need to change much over here in terms of the image because it's really this message that's key, right? It's sold. That affects your home value. You could, if you want, click in this box over here and you could say sold in it very quickly, right? And I know that this doesn't happen all the time, but I have clients saying, hey, we sold this thing in a week or 2 weeks. You might want to put that right there because a homeowner will be interested in that. If you sold above asking, you definitely want that in the message because you're saying you can get top dollar for this home. And if you got multiple offers, that could help too. Not a lot of our clients take this class and not a lot of clients do that and they still get seller leads, but this can often make the ad work a little bit better for you. So I want to talk about one thing, which is true for all of the ads or the 2 ads that I've shown you. I'm just clicking on a couple buttons here to show you what our system looks like. You actually don't need to mess with this when you're running an ad. We ask them what's your time frame to buy or sell. They have a few options there. Honestly, I don't think those options are that relevant at all because what they are, I think it's like 1 to 3 months. I want to buy or sell, 6 to 9 months, or I'm just dreaming. And a lot of people just put just dreaming, not because they're just dreaming. They click that because they just don't want to talk to you. And they don't want, if they put just dreaming, they know that you're not going to be too bothered to hit them up. But we actually have clients that reach out to those people and have sold them a house in less than 30 days, even though they were just dreaming. They had the right house. They asked the right questions. What do you need? What are you looking for? They had the right house and they got them into a place. What I'm showing you here is the contact information. And you can see that it's full name, email, and phone number. And that's because we're in a demonstration mode. If somebody saw this ad and clicked on it, that form right there would pop up. But what would be different is their full name, email, and phone number would automatically be pulled into this box, into that form from their profile. This is super important because wherever you are on the internet today, when you put a form in front of somebody and you say, what's your name, email, and phone number? Unless it's like the US government, nobody's going to fill it out. Right. And I think maybe even people have questions with the government. However, when you put a form anywhere on a website or wherever and say, hey, can I have your name, email, and phone number on a website? People just wander off. Here, it's automatically pulled. Those fields that you're looking at are filled in. And we've been doing this for 16 years. Each of your accounts have more than 200 tools to capture leads. Nothing gets name, email, and phone number like these Facebook ads, not even Google. Okay. So I want you to understand that, because for me, this is one of the most important parts for your business to grow your business, is to have actionable leads with name, email, and phone number that you can reach out to. Buyer leads and seller leads. And with our Facebook ad software, you can definitely do that. Okay. So now you know that the average cost of a buyer lead is about $3 and the average cost of a seller lead is about $7. But let's talk about how to keep the lead cost down. Now, when you run an ad, you'll actually see that, oh, you know what? I've got a lead for this right here, CPL. That means cost per lead. That's a number that we're pulling from Facebook. Notice here, it's $2.12. Here, it's $3.03, $5.90, $6.28. It's never the same. When I say it's on average $3, that's because the range is from 2 to 10. If I say the average is 7, there's a big range there as well. If you could run an ad today on one home and run the same exact ad tomorrow on the same home, your lead cost would be different. I don't know why or how Facebook does this, but it's always different. I never see it the same. And so that's important. And this is like a pro tip that we got from one of our clients, and we definitely want to share it with you. When you run an ad, let's say today it's Monday. And if I went and ran an ad today, it would probably take maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour for Facebook to make that ad live. If I went in tomorrow or on Wednesday, what day is it? Sorry, I've been traveling. Let's just say I waited 2 days, or I waited 1 day and I logged in and I looked at my lead cost, and I noticed that my lead cost is $2.12. When I know now that the average is $3, right? The average lead cost is $3, but I'm getting them for $2.12. What we recommend is that you go in, you click the edit button, which is right there on top of the ad, and you add more money and you extend the life of the ad. Because once they set that price, they don't change it, right? And this is also very important because if you feel like you're getting gouged, and I have seen some ads where leads are $25. That's a lot of money for a lead. And that's an unusual, that's the high end. That's way unusual. If you see that, stop the ad. Just go here and turn it off. You can turn off and on your ad right here. And that's a good way to get more. Thanks, Neil. It's Thursday. Sorry, guys. I've been flying in other countries and stuff, and I just don't remember what's going on. But anyway, if you have a high price lead, and that's what Facebook has decided your cost for a lead is, then stop that, right? If you have low cost leads, put more money in and extend it. Okay. That's something new that we just learned about, and it's good information. Let's go over here to PDF guides. Now, as I mentioned, there are 80 PDF guides, 40 for buyers, 40 for sellers. Let's just click on sellers and go from here. 12 mistakes to avoid right up here. 25 factors, divorce and real estate, short sale. If you want, you can download it and see what they're going to get. But let's just do 12 mistakes to avoid and just run the ad. We're going to do lead ads because we like the pre-populated lead forms with name and phone number. or nobody's typing anything in. And this doesn't have a city, right? There's no address associated to this. So you do have to type in the town that you want to focus on, right? And you see there. Yeah. Now we put this is for homeowners. And so that's why we have a higher $50 budget, and it's a week. The average cost of this kind of lead we have seen to be $10. Okay, $10 per lead. So you divide 10 into 50, you would expect 5. What I want to state is the obvious, but in case it's missed by this is more expensive than running an ad for a sold property. But maybe you don't have a sold property and you want to get some seller lead. You can do this. Neil, you said you had one lead. It was $8. What was that for? What kind of ad were you running? Was it a PDF guide or was it a sold property? PDF. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm saying, the average is 10, but Neil's getting leads for $8. Neil, what state are you in? So California. That's good. Okay. It's really easy. You don't really have to do anything. I don't even know why this activate autoresponder thing is on. You just have to click create ad. And that's how you're going to create an ad. And they'll be able to hit this. Their name, email, and phone number will be there. Say, do you want to download this? And it'll say yes. And so they'll be sending you their name and email and phone number, and then they can download it right there. Okay. That's how, and there are 80 different PDF guides, right? So you got lots of different options to do that. So let's talk about landing pages, right? Now, there are a lot of different landing pages, but I want to show you the one that most agents want to use, and that is the default free home value landing page that we give you. And they don't often do it this way. They usually get there. Let me show you how this one is done, because not everybody even finds this page. Realtors, they sign up, they don't bother taking any training classes like this, and they see this page here and they're like, oh yeah, I want seller leads. How can I do that? And they go to marketing tools, and the first thing we say is run a Facebook ad, right? But here, from this direction, the default setting is traffic, which means we're going to drive people to the landing page and ask people to fill out the form and type in their name and email and phone number, right? And you might recall that I said that nobody wants to do that. That is true. They don't want to do that. Let me show you where it's pointing to. It's pointing to my landing page. And let's see here. Let's see what I can go to. And so here, when you land here, the first question is, what's your address? And I'll type in my address. Okay. Road. And get value. That's easy. Okay. I'll type no problem. Everybody wants to type in their address there. That's not the problem. Here's where the problem is. Page 2. What's your email address? We have that information. What's your email address? And people will just want to walk away at that point. They do not want to give you that because they don't want to be followed up with, right? That's just how it is. But they can't get the report unless they give that to you. But that's the reality. That's why if you're running traffic ads to that page, you're going to get a lot of addresses and addresses only. So you got to ask yourself, if you're trying to capture leads, maybe traffic would be good. But if you're trying to convert leads into business, are you going to be able to convert a lead with an address only or with a name, phone number, and email? Which do you think you can convert the fastest? I think it's going to be the latter, the one with the name and email and phone number. Okay. But if you think you can go for it with just an address, then go with traffic. I'm suggesting that you focus here on lead ads. Now, I want to point out, remember, I'm interested in Walnut Creek. And realtors often think, I'm going to use this page and I'm going to just type in Walnut Creek and I'm going to leave it on default settings because I didn't bother wasting my time with any training classes, right? And this is what a lot of realtors do. And you will see them in the mastermind group saying, oh, I just ran an ad and I'm not getting anything, right? Why? Because there's a lot of reasons this doesn't work. For some of our clients, this does work, but often it doesn't. I don't want you to really waste your time or money. Let's talk about why this does not work. One, that neighborhood right there might not look like your neighborhood. right? I don't know where you guys live, but if that doesn't look like it, if it doesn't resonate, and now you send me over to this page and this page doesn't look like that either. You're definitely, I don't have any trust. I don't know who you are. This doesn't even look like my area. So why am I going to give you information? I'm not. And that's what happens. So that's why that often doesn't work. People click, they land here and they're like, no, I don't even know where this area is. So that is the first problem. So let me show you. This is this might get a little bit confusing. So I'm going to try and go slowly here. This is my landing page for Walnut Creek. Okay. So you can create your own landing pages, unlimited landing pages. And if you want home values, we would definitely recommend that you run ads on Facebook, right? And it's saying traffic, but I like name, email, and phone number because I think I can convert those. So I'm changing that to lead ads. And now, because the page it says Walnut Creek, it says down here, Walnut Creek. And up here, you could say, what is your home worth now? You could say 20 homes sold in Walnut Creek last month. Right. You can make this relevant to those people. You could say, oh, the high was here, whatever. That would make this work a little bit better. But here is the other issue that is more problematic. So running this kind of ad to get seller leads is really tricky. Let me show you why. You see that it says Walnut Creek and a 15-mile radius, $50 ad, 7 days, create the ad. The bulk of our clients do not go through this exercise. They just do the default one. They don't have really there's nothing there that talks about the area. They're just like lobbing it out there. Let me show you why this ad won't work, even though it's looking Walnut Creek. Looks like it should work. The picture, if you hadn't noticed, is actually, oh, wait a second, Walnut Creek. Did I do the right one? Yeah, that photograph is actually from this big old mall right in the center of Walnut Creek. That's a fountain. Everybody walks around here. Anybody in Walnut Creek knows that. And so having a landmark on your landing page to start really can help you out. Okay. But let's go look at what the bigger issue is, which the problem is going to be for me in my area. Now, I don't know exactly what the area where you guys live, like what cities you're in, but let me tell you what my problem is when I run an ad. This little white area in the middle is Walnut Creek. Okay. There's about 30,000 people that live there. And when I run an ad and the tightest radius I can do is 15 miles, that means well over 1 million people are going to see this ad, but I only want to talk to these 33,000 here. And that's another reason why that does not work very well. Yeah, you're in Los Angeles. Neil's in LA. There's a lot of towns. What is LA? Are you in the city of LA? Are you in Pasadena, Santa Monica, Venice Beach? Like all that to me means Los Angeles. And there are many more towns at Woodland Hills. If you so he's in Woodland Hills. Let's go look at that real quick. Okay. Woodland Hills, Los Angeles. If you create a landing page that said Woodland Hills in Los Angeles, and you do a 15-mile radius, you're in LA. Oh, you got some green there, so maybe it's not so bad. Oh, okay. So that's Woodland Hills. And that's about a 15-mile radius. Okay. There's probably 1 million people there that are going to see this ad that don't live in Woodland Hills. That gets to a really interesting place that I think everybody who is going to be in real estate should be thinking of. And that is, if you're going to own Woodland Hills, Neil wants to, I'm sure, build a business in Woodland Hills. You want to talk to some companies to sell you a list of people with equity. Arch Agent does that. Remind.com does that. You want a minimum of 5 years equity. Redx.com does this. Your MLSs sometimes provide these. I think Remind gets out there. What you want to get, though, it's really important. ListSource does this. They're owned by CoreLogic, if you know them, big tech data company. This is what you want to buy. You want a list of homeowners with at least 5 years equity. You want their name, their phone number, their email, and their mailing address. Okay. That way, and I'm going to show you here in just a minute. Well, let's just go do it now. You can go to your ad section and you can create a custom audience. And the custom audience will have, let's just look, you click custom audience. You need to have these four columns: email, number, first name, last name. That's it. Just like that. And it has to have at least 1,000 contacts in it. Okay. So 1,000 people. Hopefully Neil's going to go and buy a list from somebody and then he's going to call it Woodland Hills Homeowners. Now, I will say this, there are companies that are going to tell you that they got some AI or whatever going on about these lists. That's not really important to me at all. And it's not important to many of our clients because the average length of homeownership in the country is 7 years. I think it's 7, maybe it's 8 years now, but it's on average 7 years. So as long as you have this list of at least 5, that's good enough. That's good enough. You don't need AI doing whatever because that's going to get you there. Couple good questions. What if they're not on Facebook? If they're not on Facebook, it's not going to target them, but needs to be a minimum of 1,000 leads on. So when you put their name and email in there, Facebook looks, and their phone number, it looks at those people and it puts them in a list. And it says, when you run this ad and you use that, it's going to target. It's going to target those people only. It will have nothing to do with a 15-mile radius. So if I ran a landing page ad, and it's really only critical for this kind of ad, right? So, I mean, I have a Walnut Creek one here. I'm going to type in the zip code so that we can pull in some local sales data. And I'm going to leave it on lead ads because I want name, email, and phone number. Yeah, it's still worth it. Yeah. Hey, here's another reason why it's worth it. So here, I'm not going to type in Walnut Creek over here. I'm going to click this box that says retarget. And if I had a list that was Walnut Creek Homeowners or Woodland Hills, it would show up in that box and it would tell Facebook, show this ad to those people for 7 days. So Suma, yeah, you need 5 to 10 clients. There's another reason why you want to run this ad. If these leads, and let me remember how I said a buyer lead costs $3 and a seller lead costs $7. These are expensive leads. An ad like this, and I'm showing you how to do it technically correct, so you're not wasting your money. These leads will cost $15 each on average. Okay. That means you divide 50 by 3, you would expect 3 leads. However, this ad would $15. Yeah, that's right. That's the most expensive seller lead you're going to see on Facebook. Google leads cost easily $30 each. But here, these are the most expensive ones. And that's why I suggest to our clients, please run ads on homes that are sold and maybe even pending or under contract, because fewer agents do that. And we've seen those leads cost $3 for homeowners with name, email, and phone number. And that's like an awesome price to get a list of people. Colleen, you can't hear me. Can everybody hear me? Can't hear you now. Yes. Okay. Colleen, check your phone or check something. I'm not sure what's wrong there. Means you recommend lead ads. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Let me see. I see this question here. I recommend lead ads. That's for sure. Wait. Yeah. You need 1,000 leads for that. Correct. Yeah. You need 1,000 contacts to create a custom audience. And I'll tell you, like, I set up the teams and brokers around the country. I've got a team in Dallas. They have 3 lists of homeowners in Dallas with more than 10,000 leads each. Okay. So when they're running ads, they're hitting these same people. So there's also a benefit for you if you're going to be in this game for a while, right? If Neil there is going to be working Woodland Hills and he has this list, it doesn't matter what he is doing. He could just keep targeting those people over and over, run an ad every week, and they will see it and they'll start to know his brand. Whatever his business page is called, that's going to be in front of those people. And I'll tell you, we've had clients. I remember there's one guy named Shannon Pyatt who he always had 4 or 5 listings at a time. So he was always running multiple ads at a time, right? Like 2 or 3 every week. And some would be on his properties just listed or open house or sold. And let's see, I lost your questions here, guys. Give me a second. What's the problem? Okay. And what was happening is people just started calling him out of the blue. So what we're talking about is, hey, how do you capture leads and low cost? How do you do that? What buttons you got to do it? But what he was saying is, hey, I've been running ads for months with your platform and I run 2 to 3 every week. Now people are just calling me because they're saying, yeah, whenever I'm on the internet, I see you're a realtor, right? They're looking at what their friends are doing over the weekend, like my crazy friends here, and they see your ad, right? And so they keep seeing that over and over. They're going to know you're a realtor. And that's why running ads is, for me on Facebook, it's one of the most important things any realtor should be doing. It really is. So now we understand like how to make this page work when you're doing a unique page. Let's go over the landing page section, because when you sign up for a new account, you get this default one, right? And it looks like that. And I would definitely recommend that you click the pencil on this, even if you've never run an ad on this, because we actually integrate this landing page in many of your tools. Because you'll notice if you're looking at our single property websites, or you're looking at just almost any tool we have, we always incorporate this page inside of where you're not expecting it. So if you're in an area and this does not look like your area, just go over here and change that background picture right here on the left. That's all I'm telling you, because you're going to see that throughout your marketing when you're working with us. But you can create a property valuation plus page, and that's the instant home value page. We're going to change that name to hopefully instant home value, because that's just some dumb name we created years ago. When you create it, it looks like this. And this is really not very helpful because nobody knows who you are. There's a coffee cup and a ballpoint pen, and you're asking people their contact information and address. That's not really the way to go. I have one for Folsom. This is there's an old town Folsom. There's a bridge here. Everybody's here in the summer. You know this, I know Folsom, right? If I see this, at least I know, oh, you know my area. This is like the bridge that you walk over, right? Honolulu, San Antonio. This is the Riverwalk in San Antonio, right? So you want those landing pages to really resonate. This is Pleasant Hill. This town is just next door to Walnut Creek, 30,000 people here. This is a new mall, the movies there. There's a couple of restaurants. So everybody knows this. You want something, you don't want a new mansion, custom or new development picture there. You really want something that says, I know your area. This is Glendale. This is a big mall in Glendale. And this is going to have better results when you have something that shows the market that you know this area. Okay. So that's all the landing page section. Now there's some questions here for pending homes, right? So what is it? When we're running ads, let's go back let's go to ads. So when we go to run an ad on Facebook and we talk about getting seller leads, there are multiple ways of getting seller leads. You can do the home value page like I just did for Walnut Creek and all those landing pages. Those are pricey leads. They're $15 each. You can do any of the 40 PDF guides for home sellers. Those are $10 leads, or any of the 40 PDF guides for buyers. When you're doing a listing ad, you could do an open house. You could do a for sale. You're going to get buyer leads. If you run a sold ad or a pending ad, you're going to get seller leads. We did a sold one before, but let's do pending now. The only thing that's different is that the text above the photo is different. This home is pending, going to close soon. Affect your home value. Click here to get your free home value. That's it. You just run this ad. But the thing is, because it's pending, Facebook is going to go, oh, not many people are running this ad. So you're not competing with many people. So this lead cost could be less than running a sold ad. I hope that makes sense. Here's a good question. Do you have an ad that targets seniors? Yes, we have a landing page, and I think we actually have a couple of PDF guides for seniors. But let's go look. If you go, you can create hey, I took it out. Okay, let me create one right here. And let's call it Empty Nester Plus. Empty Nester Plus means you're getting a home value. I'm going to do Walnut Creek. And because I've got my homepage, or I've got my landing page for instant home values for Walnut Creek, of course, I'm going to want. This is another way of getting that landing page. So it's basically, I don't know if, yeah, empty nesters, you're targeting seniors, right? Pretty much. So let's go click on marketing and Facebook and Google. Here is the thing key that I want to answer that you're not asking. And that is, this is for Walnut Creek. So I could type in Walnut Creek, but you already know that now we're doing a 15-mile overshoot. So this would be a good time for a custom audience, right? Just like the other one, which I could get to by not doing it here and doing it. Where is the custom audience? Don't tell me. Oh, here. Yeah. So I can put my Walnut Creek homeowner list here. Here's the question that you didn't ask, and I want to make sure we all understand. You can't target people by age. That's actually illegal. Okay. So if you're thinking you can target by age, you used to on Facebook until Facebook got sued by HUD, and now you can't. So even if you find a way somehow to do that, don't do it, because you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. Okay. So and there are some other tools designed for seniors. You can run ads, but you cannot be targeting by age. Okay. Okay. So that's what we can do with Facebook. If you have questions about that, please let me know. Let's talk about Google. And please let me know if you have questions about Facebook or Google. So there's a couple things that you can do here. IDX ad, I don't even recommend. So what that means is, how do you get buyers? You drive people to your own IDX. But what we both recommend, Scott and I recommend, is that you're using Google to get listing leads. This is really critical, okay? Because when we're doing an ad on Facebook, yeah, DOA is saying, I'm getting a lot of clicks and no leads. What are you doing? What does your ad look like? What are you doing, DOA? Can you go look at the ad in your system? Because if you're getting clicks and no leads, are you using our software, and are you doing the default settings that I'm showing you? Are you doing lead ads? Because if there's no way that you're using lead ads by getting a lot of clicks and no leads. That sounds to me like you're doing a traffic ad. And what this person's saying, everybody, I'm going to keep going. You get the answers to my questions. What's the ad? I don't have this here. Okay, let me jump out into another account. The Google ad software is actually a $30 a month add-on. And that is because it's just $30 just to have the software to do it. I highly recommend this to agents who want more listings. If you've been a long-time listing agent, you already know that you need to be on Google. You may not be doing it because the offerings from companies out there are horrific and really expensive, but let's do it the way that, we were doing before. And let's see, I want to do property valuation plus, and I'm going to do Atlanta. Okay, I got an Atlanta one here. Create ad. Let's see here. So I have and all I have to do here is type in Atlanta. Okay. And this targets people who are in Atlanta. It's a $50 a day budget every day. Why when we did $50 a week on Facebook? That's because the cost per lead is way higher on Google. Okay. In Dallas, each lead from an ad like this is $30 each. In Pennsylvania, each lead from an ad like this, if it said Philadelphia home value and you target Philly, those leads cost $22 each. In Utah, Salt Lake City, 17. In British Columbia, where Vancouver is on the West Coast, those leads cost $300 each US, each lead. Okay. So if you have a $50 ad and they're charging you $300 a lead, you're not getting any leads whatsoever, because you're not even hitting that. If you got a $50 budget and you're in Dallas and they're charging $30 a lead, you're going to get one lead and $20 will be left there, maybe for the next day. Okay. So the link, so on these, when they click on it, they're going to land on this page. And this is where it's going to say, Doa, did you get that? Are you going to tell us what kind of ad you're on? Because when somebody says, I got a lot of clicks and no leads, that usually to me means that they ran an ad on this and they use the traffic setting, which I just described to everybody. They got people to click. And if DOA didn't update the background of this picture, it doesn't look like their neighborhood, nobody's going to fill it out. I hope you guys are following along what I'm saying. So here, my Google ad, I turned it off. Yeah, okay. You can email me, DOA. I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. We can look at that together. Sometimes your question might be over the head. Oh, what is it that you're actually running? That's another good question. What is the ad? So DOA is saying that they were using lead ads, but, oh, you were doing an under contract home. Okay, that's good. Thank you for raising this. And we'll discuss that in just a minute. Let's just finish here on this section. You just click create an ad and it's done. Now I'm going to click on advanced options to show you that we're automatically putting in multiple keywords. These are called headlines. You have to write 3 headlines. We give you 10 and Google will rotate them. This is called here, the description. You have to write 3. We write 4. And Google's going to rotate these until people land on the one that's getting you the most clicks. Okay. And when they click, you drives it to whatever landing page that we've created for you. So if it's a landing page like the one we just did, like the Walnut Creek one, it would drive there, right? But let me show you how you can also use Google, and that's with our PDF guides. You really only want to focus on PDF guides for homeowners, for sellers, okay? If you want buyers, please just get a listing, even if it's borrowed, and run an ad on Facebook. It's not going to get any cheaper or any better than that. You can get leads, buyer leads from Google. You'll just pay a lot more money. And we'd rather our clients save their money, right? So here we're going to Google. Let's do 12 mistakes to avoid. We actually had somebody in the mastermind group do exactly what I'm showing you right here. Ran an ad on 12 mistakes to avoid. The landing page itself doesn't have anything to do with any area, so you don't even have to worry about that. I'm just going to type in Walnut Creek. When you use one of our PDF guides, we drive them to this landing page. Hey, you want that? Here's a little video. Fill that out. Download it right now for free. That's what it's doing, and that can work, right? Like we literally had somebody in the mastermind group say, "I ran this ad on Google, and I got my own listing from running that ad." Okay, so there are 40 PDF guides for homeowners. You can do that with all those different subjects. Let's talk about what DOA is talking about. And this is a really good question, so I really appreciate it. So let me hop out of this account real quick. DOA did something that I was suggesting that you all do, and is saying, I'm getting, let's see, Jana, I thought that the default on Facebook ads was traffic. I've been using PDF guides. I get a lot of views, but no one is engaging. Yeah. It depends on where you are. And that's why I'm saying, Janet, I personally, if you see that we are offering you traffic, change it to lead ads. Lead ads is the only ad where the lead form is automatically filled out from the profile. Nobody's typing anything in. Name, email, and phone number. I hope this is clear to everybody. Traffic ad means we're driving them to a landing page. Okay. We're driving into some page and they can fill it out or not fill it out. It's their choice, right? Lead ads, there is no choice. They are literally looking at their name, email, and phone number, and it says, do you want that information? And they say, yes. Okay, so what's this? Houston, Texas, Missouri City area. I thought, yeah, okay. I'm not sure what that area is about. So here are my listings. Okay, let me get out of this one. Let me get into this other account. Okay. And I appreciate that question, DOA. And Jana, if I'm not answering your question, please, if it's not clear, please let me know. So there are things that we do, that you can do, that we've lined up for you to do that don't always work. And running an ad like that under contract, and let me show you what DOA is doing. First of all, you've got different statuses. So I'm going to change the status. So it's exactly what. So this one is pending. I'm going to change it to under contract. And that's what you have it, under contract. Yeah. So some MLSs say you can mark it as under contract or pending or whatever. So we have multiple options for you hold on a second there, Melissa. So let's see. What is the best way for me to generate seller leads? Oh, that's a good question. Probably while this is baking, let me jump over here. And I think the best thing for you to do, Melissa, is, well, one, you can email me and I'll email, actually, I'll email this page to you right now. Hold on a second. I'm going to send this, and I'm sending this to all of you. It's a link to our YouTube channel. And I was on vacation, so I haven't done it for a while, but just sold marketing. Melissa's question, what's the best way for me to generate seller leads? There's a class that I do called Top Tools for More Listings right here 4 weeks ago. Watch this video and follow the steps on that page. That's the best thing. Now, pending listings here, that's going to get you seller leads. Anything that's later stage, I think Scott does something just sold here as well. But there are some things that he's saying, hey, this is how you get seller leads. Yeah, you're welcome. Everybody should have that. So I would definitely check that out. Let's see. Let's go back to where we were. Let me close a few things here. So okay. So we've got this property. It's under contract. And Doa says, yeah, I ran an ad. It was lead ads. So let's do it this way. Click on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm getting no leads. So I'm not sure. So it says it's under contract. Back to the closing. When this home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. And what you're saying is you're getting clicks, but no leads. Then you probably want to change that, because this is a lead ad. This is definitely a lead ad. You might want to make this, that text is not working. Sometimes under contract, people don't know why you're even advertising this. And so this part here, it says that's going to affect your home value. Click here for your free home value. That's not working in your area, is what it's saying. It's like they're not getting it. I'm assuming you ran the ad on Facebook. It's a lead ad. And I'm not sure what you can do to a pending home without getting yourself in, because sometimes there are local MLS rules. But that might not be working, and I would turn it off. You said that you just did that. Yeah, I turned it off. Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, so I did, it sounds like I recreated what Doa is saying she did, or he did, and that it's just not working. And sometimes sold ads don't work as well, right? Because people don't know what it is. That's why when you're doing sold, you got to sometimes make it a little more clear. What am I getting? Even though it's really clear, click here to get your free home value. Maybe they're not understanding that, this. And so maybe work on the wordsmithing a bit to get that to work. Because if that works and you're getting low cost leads, then you want it to work. Otherwise, you can just market it once it's sold. I have 4 listings and no leads for buyers. I have double checked my listing price and they are comparable to the areas they are located, but no leads. So Cindy, are you running, I had mentioned that many of our clients in Florida run ads in other cities. Are you doing that? Suma, I'd shared probably 5 minutes ago the video on market updates. Just on that page, look at market updates. I share. There's a magnifying glass on this page. So anything that you're trying to find, just click on that magnifying glass and type what's there. And I did share the link to this page just a couple minutes ago. So yes, you are marketing in other areas. Though if you're not getting any leads, any bites at all, I would recommend changing the photo, and also like changing the photos in front, because you see here, like whatever the template it is, you can change the template, or you can just change the photos to get something that states as well as other areas. Yeah, I understand, Cindy. Yeah. So you're targeting right. I'm guessing that these pictures are not getting people to slow down and respond to your ads, is what I'm sensing. You might want to, in this area, if there's something special about the home, if there's new custom kitchens or waterfront or anything, if it's not showing here, just click in there and beef that text up a little bit. You don't want it to be too long because people won't read it, but that's probably what it is. You can email me, guys. I'm Vince at Listings to Leads, and we can look at it. and I can look specifically at what's going on, but I think that's probably the case. If you have no leads from marketing a home, it's probably the photos aren't really catching our eyes, slowing people down. Okay. So it's 12 o'clock in California. I'm running a little bit late, but I'm happy to answer any questions for you. Key, I answered your question about do I have ads for targeting seniors? Did you miss that? Because there is a landing page for empty nesters. And I think there's a couple PDF guides for seniors as well. So those are the things that I would definitely recommend. If you've got like a development for 55 and older, you can create a landing page on that and run an ad on it. You just won't be able to target too well on that, right? Especially on Facebook. Since we still have a lot of people here, let me tell you one thing I usually mention at the end of the call or at the beginning of the call, which is if you're a new agent, like our recommendation is spending $200 a month on Facebook ads. That's four $50 ads every month, right? So one $50 ad every week. If you spend that, your business pages on Facebook will be seen 8 to 10,000 times a month. Okay. And depending on what kind of ad you're on, because there's different costs for leads, you're going to generate between 50 and 100 leads every month. You keep doing that, you're building your brand. If you're a new agent, that's like my number one recommendation, because nobody knows you're an agent except for a handful of your friends and family, right? So and most of you are competing against 5 to 30,000 agents. Who even knows you're a realtor, right? So that's why Facebook can be really one of the most powerful places for your advertising spend, right? You can capture leads with name, email, and phone number, and you can build your brand at the same time. Because I don't know where you're building your brand, right? Where you're all competing against a lot of agents. Where is anybody seeing you even 1,000 times a month? If you have something, any of you, where people are seeing your business page or your name, $150 per week for lead ads. Am I correct? No, I'm saying $50 a week. That's $200 a month for any kind of ad on Facebook. And yes, lead ads. Yes, lead ads. Do lead ads, no traffic ads, please. Okay. Just to carry on that. And since we're all here, let me point something out to you. I forgot. Sorry, I just got back from Vietnam last night from a week long of traveling. On this page, on this GoToMeeting navigation bar, please click the button with a paperclip on it. There are 2 flyers. Print them both out. I'm going to open them up right now and I'm going to show them to you because they're both really important. One is actually Facebook and Google ads. Okay. And print this. It tells you the kinds of ads that you can run for buyers or for seller leads, and Google is good to have. But the other one that's actually way more valuable, and somebody asked me, what should I do for seller leads? This is how you get seller leads, right? And I would definitely you will receive a copy of this if you download it and print it right now, Cindy. Otherwise, you can email our support team or me and ask for this. But you can download this. Yeah, so if you're not able to download it, it's inside where the paperclip is on this navigation bar. Everything to get seller leads is right here. And what I was saying about having one ad running every week, you should also be sending one email out every week if you have leads in your own CRM. And you should also be mailing something once or twice a month to this same group. So if you're tracking with me that you bought a list of homeowners with more than 5 years equity and you upload it in Facebook, you can now run an ad to these people once a week. You can put that same list inside your constant contact or whatever CRM you have and email them once a week and then mail them something. And those kinds of tools are in my class called Top Tools for More Listing. I should have mentioned this earlier. I'm just a little bit backwards on this. Cindy, if you were asking about, are you going to receive a copy of this video or of this call? No, we won't be sending this to you, but this is being recorded and this will be on this page probably tomorrow. So I don't see any other questions, but I'm happy to answer any. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining me. Sorry, I was a little bit foggy today, but I think I was in the air for 15 hours and traveling for 20. So I'm just a little bit foggy today. Thanks, everybody. I hope this helps. Don't forget about Google. Wait, what? Do you have a question? There are more ways to get seller leads and buyer leads, but Facebook is really easy. And for building your brand, honestly, this is on for realtors. Yes, this is, yeah. No, also lenders and title professionals use our stuff too. Yeah. Key, are you an LO? Are you a loan officer? Because we definitely have clients do that. And if you go check out, yeah, so if you go to this page here, I do a class every 2 weeks called L to L for lenders. You might want to watch that. And yes, lenders can run ads as well. And go check out that class and you'll see that. And don't forget, you can create your own landing pages. But I will say this, sometimes people are creating things and they're great ideas, but they just don't function. They don't work very well. The things I've shown you typically work all the time. And that's why we want to make sure you're using those things. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for your questions. If you'll find my information on our website, I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. If you look for pricing, you have a question about teams or brokers, or if you just have questions, we do have a great support team. They're always super helpful, but I'm happy to help if you've got a quick question. All right. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, my contact information is right over here. Have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great weekend. And yeah, stay consistent. Stay consistent with your marketing and your business. Thanks a lot. Bye.